Greetings to you, saints, and I want to welcome you back to a time of prayer. And today is day number 5 in our prayer week, and it is our final day in this prayer week leading to the month of June. And our focus today is on guidance. Our focus today is on guidance. Why guidance? Because a prayer for guidance is an expression of one's total dependence on God. And this is one type or a kind of prayer I want to ask you to adopt as one of your regular prayers. Now, let's learn from David. Psalm chapter number 25, and we're going to be picking up a few verses from there. We find David making a prayer for guidance. Now, verse number 4 to verse number 5, it says, "Show me your ways, O Lord. Teach me your paths. Lead me in your truth and teach me, for you are the God of my salvation. On you I wait all the day." Now, when you look at verse number 4 and verse number 5, you notice that David is not after his personal ways. David is not after his personal paths, but he is after God's ways. He is after God's paths. He is seeking God's truth. That's why he says, "Show me your ways, O Lord. Teach me your paths. Lead me in your truth and teach me." Now, that is so important because when it comes to guidance, you want to tap into God's ways. When it comes to guidance, you want to tap into God's paths, not your paths, not men's paths. Now, guidance is of such importance because guidance breeds direction. Because guidance breeds direction, and direction determines destiny. Imagine with me for a second. Suppose you're going to a place that you're not familiar with, you have never been there before. What you need in that situation is guidance, is direction. Why? Because direction is going to determine your destiny. It's going to enable you to get to where you want to go to. That's why I'm saying guidance breeds direction, and direction determines destiny. So as soon as you obtain directions, you know what that does? It gives you confidence. Yeah, it gives you confidence to begin to move in the direction of your destiny. Yeah, so you find that where there is guidance, there is confidence. But here's a principle that I want you to embrace as we make this prayer for guidance. There is the God part and there is the man part, which is your part and my part. There is always the God part and the man part. Now, this is a principle that you find across the scriptures. For example, when you look at salvation, there is the God part in salvation and there's also the man part in salvation. When Paul says in Ephesians 2, verse number 8, that for we are saved by grace through faith. Yeah, there is the part of God. God provides the grace. And what is your part? It is the faith that is your response. When Paul says in Philippians 2, verse number 12, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. The God part is the provision of salvation. Your part is working out, is bringing out what God has worked in. So there's always the God part and there's also the man part. Romans 1 verse number 16, Paul says, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God to whoever believes." So the part of God is the salvation, which is the gospel, which is the power of God. What is the man's part? The man part is believing. It is the believing. So when it comes to guidance, guidance follows the same principle. There is the part that God plays, and there's also the part that you and I play. Let's identify that. So in guidance, God provides the path. In guidance, God provides the way. In guidance, God provides the truth. These three are very important. God provides the way, God provides the path, and God provides the truth. What then is your part? Let's identify your part. There are 3 elements that I want to bring out there that show your path, your part. Verse number 9, it says, "The humble he guides in justice, and the humble he teaches his way." So the first element to your part, it is humility. It is humility. You bring in the character of humility. Humility, it is the absence of pride or arrogance. So where God provides the way, where God provides the path, where God provides the truth, which makes up the guidance, you bring in your character. And the first character you bring in, it is the character of humility. That's number one. Number two, you bring in your obedience. You bring in your obedience. Verse number 10, it says, all the paths of the Lord are mercy and steadfast love. That's grace there. That's what God provides. Even truth and faithfulness are they for those who keep his covenant and his testimonies. So God is providing mercy. God is providing steadfast love. What is your part? Your part is keeping his covenant and his testimonies. That is your part, and that is obedience. And then lastly, it is the fear of the Lord. God provides the path. God provides the way. God provides the truth. You bring in the fear of the Lord. Verse number 12, it says, who is the man that fears the Lord? Who is the man that fears the Lord? Him shall he teach in the way he chooses. Him, the one who fears the Lord, shall be taught in the way God chooses. So God provides the truth. You bring in the fear of the Lord. Verse number 14, it says, the secret of the Lord is with those who fear him. The secret or the hidden things of God are with those who fear him, and he will show them his covenant. So God's part is he will show you his covenant. He will show you his ways, and you bring in the fear of the Lord, those who fear the Lord. So brothers and sisters, like I said earlier on, that a prayer for guidance is an expression of one's total dependence on God. And I want to encourage you to embrace this prayer as one of your regular prayers. Why? Because when you make this prayer, you're expressing your total dependence on God, and you'll obtain the direction, and your destiny will be defined. And as you obtain God's guidance, it works out a confidence in you. You begin to embrace life with confidence. So may God bless you. May God guide you. And I pray that in everything that you do, may God continue to order your steps in his word. God bless you. This is Pastor Danny.